All right, 3, 2, 1. What's up, y'all? I have got Chris Rivoli on the line. He is an SDR at NetApp. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? How's it going? I'm happy to be here. And we were talking earlier, I'm happy to be a guest on a podcast because I had a podcast in college. So it's cool to just relax and listen for once.
That's so rad. So rad. So usually we start with the triple whammy, which is how are you? What are you drinking? What'd you learn today? But it's only 9:30 my time, a.m. So we're gonna scratch that, and I'm just gonna ask you
well,
how's
I
your day?
well, it's 12:30 my time in North Carolina, so I could do it. I'm doing all right. It's a beautiful. It's a little bit cloudy in North Carolina. Not too bad though. It's humid as always, but we'll make it work. I can't afford LaCroix, so I'm drinking a bubbly. But it's the same
I've
thing.
got
Once I
I've got
once
a
I
LaCroix, man. Big
see,
time
man,
guys.
my man says that's what happens when you set the big meetings. You start drinking LaCroix. But no, I'm drinking a bubbly, enjoying myself. Something that I learned today. We actually had a team meeting at 9:30, and they said this is so random, but basically, I'm sure you can relate to this too. But sometimes when we set meetings, we have like a notes section,
Yeah.
and my boss was basically just like, all right, some of these meetings have notes in them, which is great, and some meetings have zero notes. So just a quick reminder, like put notes in the meetings, because sometimes you set meetings, and especially if you're setting them to like 3 different reps, like they have
Yeah.
no idea what to expect. So that was something that was more of a refresh, because I knew that going in, but just
So are
keeping
you
it up
were
here
you
and
on
now.
the was your boss like specifically talking to you like, "Yo, Chris, you need to put notes in this," but directed at the whole team?
It was basically the whole team, yeah, because I don't know, sometimes you just get leads where it's just so like short. So I guess we skip out on it. But even if it's
Yeah.
a short, like put something in there, like interested in cloud infrastructure or something. Don't leave it blank. So that was a good refresh.
Well, there's like so many little things that you have to do, and it like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes I just like skip over some things that I should do just because you like everything's like gotta be quick, gotta be quick, gotta be quick,
Yeah.
gotta make dials, but then you gotta log all
Mhm.
this stuff in the CRM or in outreach or whatever, and I feel like it's so tedious.
Oh yeah. So I feel like that is sales in a nutshell, man. Just a bunch of tedious tasks that you have to do. But
I
it's
don't know
fun
about
though.
I don't know about you guys, but the worst people at logging notes and doing anything in the CRM are account executives. Like
Yeah. That's funny.
it's almost like once
Yeah.
you become an account executive, it's like, nah, I'm good.
I
Uh,
feel like that the higher up you move in your company, the less notes you write
yeah,
in things. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
and the
interesting.
less you're held accountable too. Like people just once you close like $1 million deal, people just don't care about what you do.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
for
do we? Yeah, we have some interns, and they leave novels. They're like, because you're an intern, so you're like you have so much time on your hands. So whenever they send me something, I laugh because it's just like word for word what the customer said, and I'm like, I mean, I appreciate the effort, but
yeah.
and then there's 40-year-olds who are like meeting at 3, interested in cloud, and you're like, yeah, you've been here for a while, man,
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Um, well,
for sure.
I gotta let everyone know. So Chris Chris on the show today, and usually everyone on the show is like 140% of quota, you know, yada yada yada. The show's all about no BS. This show is gonna be a lot about BS. And Chris,
There we go.
Chris let everyone know like where you're at with quota and like kind of what are you doing?
But all right, so basically, I don't know. I guess some people are on a different schedule. We just started our new year. So last year, I had Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana as my territory,
Yeah,
and didn't hit 100%. I think I hit like 70, 80% of my number. But anyways, I learned a lot. It was cool, and did that. Just started a new year, and now I have the Indiana territory, which is a lot better. So
that's a
just
pretty
started
small
with that.
territory though.
Yeah, I don't know. I just needed I needed a change. So What I did last year was I had 3 states, but there wasn't too much going on, So I
Yeah.
called. It was basically like 100% white space. Is like, do you know the term white space, right?
Yeah, like nobody had, you don't have any deals there. There's like not much going on.
Yeah, so you're basically just calling people who, like 80% of the time you're pitching, they have no idea who you are or what you do. So, which sounds, are we allowed to curse on here?
Sure, I don't care.
Sounds a little shitty. And, but I actually learned a lot from it because, sometimes you get leads. If the person at least knows your company, at least you have some type of foot in the door. But when you're calling someone, they have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
It's bad, but when you do that every day, you get a thick skin, which is what you need to have in sales. And it's just, persistence. I learned a lot from just calling a bunch of people who they're like, what? I have no idea what your company is. And so that was always helpful.
What's your favorite thing about like or I guess I should ask, you like a cold call guy, you a cold email guy, you do everything guy. What's your style?
Yeah, I like to call first, and then I'll leave an email, call them a few times, and then we have like a 7-step process. So basically, let's say like if I get a marketing lead, then
Yeah.
it's a combination of call, email, and then a LinkedIn approach. And then basically, if you go through 7 steps and they don't answer, then you just reject it.
Dang. And
Yeah.
then for like outbound when it's not from marketing, are you just like phone heavy? Like are you
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to one of your previous episodes, and this dude was talking about like he makes 150 calls a day. I want to buy that guy a medal. That guy deserves a medal and a
dude,
handshake and a hug.
overachievers.
Yeah, that man, I was in awe. I want to meet him. I'm gonna send him a LinkedIn request because I don't think, I mean, dude, 50. I was talking about this with my friend the other day. When I first got hired,
Yeah.
so my boss told us like, all right, usually you should make around 50 calls a day. Around, if you hit a little bit under 50, not a big deal, but you should usually be in that ballpark. And I
Yeah.
remember the first lesson I learned was I was so ignorant. No, I used to think like 50 calls, you could just like, it wouldn't take long at all. And then like the longer you work, you're like, yo, 50 calls, especially if people pick up,
Yeah.
takes all day. So when it takes all day. If you call 50 people and like if you have a crazy cool day where 20 of them pick up and talk to you, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a full day. So when he
Dude.
said 100 to 150, that's the MVP right there.
Andy Dewey, man, the dial monster. I just had a guy on. His show's gonna go live soon, or by the time I air this, I don't know when it'll be live, but it'll be live.
No, you're
His
cool.
name is Dave DeLug, and he's telling me that when he first started, he was doing like 200 to 300 dials a day.
Oh my gosh. That man's
And
that man's sponsored by Red Bull.
I was like, "Do you drink water?
Straight
Do
up.
you do you do anything?" And I think he was like, nah, "I just like dial all day."
That's
And now that he's been in the role for like a year, now he just does like 150. But they use
okay.
an auto dialer. So the thing like so
Yeah.
you upload the list of leads and then it kind of just like dials them for you. But I
Okay.
was like, "Really, dude? You're making 300 dials a day?"
Yeah.
But he is like 300% of quota.
That's crazy. Even with the automatic dollar, that's still impressive. That's a lot because
You can't even
well, and then
breathe.
there's this too. Sometimes there's that too, but sometimes me and people on my team have talked about this. Sometimes let's say you call 20 people and you have a really bad day where like 10 of those people literally are yelling at you.
Yeah.
That takes a toll on you mentally. So sometimes you're like, listen, I can keep calling, but I got to just take a break real quick because
That's real
sometimes
life right
it
there,
is,
dude.
yeah, sometimes it is like that. Sometimes you just catch a bunch of people at the wrong time and it wears you down, especially in the beginning. So,
Yeah. Dude, when I get off the phone with someone that's just like, I mean, we all want to say that we all have thick skin and like, oh, I know, yeah, someone like yells at me, I'm like, chill with it. The reality is, like, when someone's really rude to you, like it does leave a little bit of a mark, you
Oh
know?
yeah. You know what I think is because this is what I've noticed for me personally. If I have a good week where I set a lot of meetings, I don't care how many times I get yelled at or cursed out because I'm setting meetings, so you can curse me out. But what I have noticed is if you have a week where you're not setting meetings
Yeah.
and also people are yelling at you and cursing you out, that is when you're like, all right, where's the ping pong table at? Because I need to chill out for a little bit. Yeah.
What's your guys' office culture like? What do you guys do?
Yeah, so before all this started happening, we have a ping pong table, which is awesome. And that's it's funny, man. They actually like they don't encourage you to play ping pong all day, but they actually don't get mad. Like if you play ping pong for 30 minutes and you're still getting work done, they actually are cool with it because um I don't know, I think it helps productivity for sure. I really do think
Are
ping
you ping
pong
pong
helps.
champ? Who's ping pong champ
I'm
at
actually
NetApp?
so bad. We have a couple of dudes that are so good. Our company actually holds tournaments before this whole thing
Oh,
shut
dang.
down. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, some people are. I was okay before we had to work from home, but some guys are real good.
Jeez. Dude, I love ping pong. I could play ping pong all day.
Were you playing when you were in the office?
Dude, I've been working from home for like 3 years. So, but
Oh, nice.
um, well, I shouldn't say 3 years. I've been at the company I'm at for 2 years, and been working from home from 2 years. And then when I was in sales like 5 years ago, um, I was at home too. So
Okay, so you've had this set up for a
yeah,
hot
I've
minute.
been chilling for a while.
There you
But
go.
I do sometimes go to this workspace that's in town, because I live in a ski town, which is sick. Like
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm literally like a minute away from the slopes, which can
Oh, that's not bad.
which can limit productivity too, and mountain biking. That's the new thing.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but I was at a little co-working space, and me and my buddy, we would play all the time, and I friggin' love ping pong, dude.
Yeah. Well,
Best.
now it's funny now that I've been working from home for a couple months. Now I've been playing a bunch of obviously I don't have enough time to do this during my workday, but after work I've been playing disc golf, which is
Oh,
you ever play disc golf?
I'm pretty bad at frisbee throwing, but I've played. It's super fun.
I was so bad at throwing a frisbee, and I don't know what happened. I just figured it out, and now that's my new addiction right now. Like right after work's over, we go play frisbee golf, disc golf. It's a good time. It's a
I
good
feel
time to clear your head.
I feel like being an SDR, you got to have all these hobbies because like
Yeah,
the day to day is just like grueling.
that and also I've noticed trying not to. This sounds crazy, but I feel like if you don't have a hobby, you literally turn into a robot. Like I feel like the SDR role can turn you into a robot if you don't have enough hobbies.
What
Because
does
it's
that
just
even mean?
like I just feel like I don't know when you have days. I mean, like I said before, I've never called 150 people in a day, but I have
Yeah,
had days where, like, if I call 70 people, I legitimately feel like a robot
yeah,
because you're also, it's like you said, it's tedious. And then you're also saying the same words
yeah,
to all day, the
yeah.
same pitch, the same conversation. So sometimes I'm like, yo, this is wild right now.
Dude, you know what's the friggin' worst and the most boring thing to do is lead research.
Yes, I
I
agree.
I
So are
got
you
into
talking about like looking people up on LinkedIn or?
yes, adding them to sequence, cadence, whatever. Dude,
Mhm.
that is friggin' brutal.
Right. So do you guys have a system where you have to do a certain amount of research before calling, or is that just something you like to do?
I researched before call, but I'm more talking about like, so there would be days where I'd go research like 50 prospects or try to do like 20 prospects a day and put them into sequence. This is like more when I first started. Um, but it would take like an hour to do, an hour and a half to do like that much research on LinkedIn. And you're literally just scrolling through LinkedIn profiles for companies
Yeah.
and adding them to Salesforce. And so I got into this like really like so I started listening to like real estate podcasts, and
Yeah.
I started listening to Joe Rogan podcasts, which can eat up a lot of
Th-
time.
There you go.
And then
Can
I
eat up so much time.
got sucked down all these rabbit holes. My favorite one is the one with Elon Musk. Have you heard that one?
Yeah, I just watched. I think I watched half of the first one, and then I think I watched like half of the second one. I thought it was really good.
Dude,
for
that crap
sure.
is gnarly.
You know what's
Elon's a
crazy?
savage.
Yeah, dude, Elon's wild. And I was telling my friend about this recently. I didn't realize, I knew Joe Rogan was famous,
Yeah.
but I realized how famous he was when I started working in sales, because I'll never forget this. Because when I listened to him in high school and stuff, it was like this secret club you could be a part of, like the Joe Rogan podcast. Not many people know about him. And then I went to college, graduated, started working in sales, and I'll never forget. I got up to go to the bathroom, and you pass a lot of people's cubes on the way to the bathroom, and it was like everyone's listening to Joe Rogan. I'm like, what? Like the whole office is. I'm like, yo,
Dude,
this
that's
guy
so
is
funny.
so famous. I did not. I realized that day, like this dude is so famous. Like that's
Did,
crazy.
did his podcast start when did you graduate high school? How long has his podcast been around?
So yeah, that's the crazy thing. So I graduated high school in 2014, and not trying to brag or anything, but I remember I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast when he had like literally like 150 episodes, and now he has like over 1,000.
Yeah, and he just signed a massive deal with Spotify.
Yeah, he signed
Like,
like $100 million deal with Spotify,
that's crazy.
changing the game. And it's so crazy, I forgot where I found it, but if you look up a chart, like there are so many successful podcasts, but he's the one guy that is literally blowing, like no one's close to him in terms
No.
of subscribers, views, revenue, at like he's just an outlier it's so ahead.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. I like the people that are on his show. It's super fascinating.
Oh yeah, he gets the best guests. He's so smart too. I don't think he gives himself enough credit either. Like if you listen to his podcast enough, he'll always be like, and I'm not the brightest guy. It's like, no, he's pretty a lot smarter than he thinks he is. So
Yeah, and he's pretty neutral too. Like I don't know if you've listened to the one with him and Bernie Sanders, but
yeah, a
like,
little bit.
and then because he's got like Democrats, he's got Republicans, he's got like all kinds of people on the show,
Hmm.
and he's like super good at just kind of like honing back his some of the things that he really thinks. Because I don't know where he sits. Feel like he's maybe a little bit more conservative, with the gun.
Hmm.
Like he's always talking about like guns and stuff, and like
Oh yeah.
shooting stuff, and he's always talking about like I don't know, but I don't know
No,
exactly
yeah.
where he sits. He's a rad dude though.
No, but yeah,
So
back to relating it to work though. I started, I think, because with the SDR role, I have how do I explain this? A system of where, like, if I'm checking emails, I'll listen to music in the morning, and
that's tight.
then usually after lunch is where I put on a podcast. Because I've learned, like, sometimes you have days you listen to music all day, and you can't listen to music all day.
No,
Yeah, you got to switch it up. So I usually after lunch is when I'll put on a podcast, and that kind of helps my productivity. So with music, I'll get amped up and make some calls, and then and then as the day goes on, you got to switch it up to a podcast.
what kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to a little bit of everything, like rap, country. I have the most bipolar playlists of all time. So I'm just a
It's
big music fan.
like
Yeah,
Tupac and then like Rascal
yeah, and
Flats in the same
yeah,
vibe.
exactly.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
Rascal
that's
Flatts.
so weird.
That's how you got to do it. But you know what I've been doing? This is so weird, but it's been helping me. I listen to like obscure jazz music when I'm at
What?
work because there's no words. It's just music, and I don't know. It just gets me focused.
Dude, that's
Be like
fucking weird.
or like an instrumental beat where you're just like there's no words, so like you hear something but you're not really like listening to it. Just keep workflow.
Dude, that's tight. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan of
man.
like right now. So I'm in this weird phase right now where I got pretty into like ASAP Ferg radio on Pandora.
Okay, that's how you get hyped up.
But I don't listen to it while I'm working. It's only like a mountain biking thing. Cause I'll be biking and I'll
Okay.
put friggin' ASAP Ferg radio on and dude, it
And you'll bike
goes.
30 miles.
I like start like moving my head while I'm pedaling and then like
Yeah.
you don't want to be listening to ASAP Ferg while you're like going downhill mountain biking. That's where you're gonna
Yeah,
like
you'll bike so far. You'll bike so far you'll have to Uber home.
and
Straight up.
and then you go downhill and then you're like listening to that crap and dude, you're gonna hit a tree or something or like you're
Yeah.
gonna you're gonna be going way too fast.
Way too fast. Yeah, I hear that 100%.
But then I'll
So,
listen to like a lot of EDM at work, like Or like Odessa Radio. Love Odessa Radio.
So how have you adapted to? So like you've been working from home, you said for 3 years.
Well, 2 years at this job, but I work from home in my last sales job too. When I
So
was in
I've been
outreach.
working from home for about 3 months now, and I feel like I just adapted to my routine. Like my first 3 weeks of working from home was so hard. Like, did you ever have a time where you were like, this is just, I don't know what happened, but
Yeah.
it took me a while to adapt
What was so hard about it?
because I think I just got used to the off. Like, so for example, I could go in the office, I would get coffee at the office, work, go to lunch, and then we would have a gym downstairs. So then I would
Oh,
work
that's
out.
tight. That's
Yeah,
tight.
come right, shower, come right back up, work again, play. And so you have this system, and you
Yeah,
go home. But then at my apartment, it's like I don't have all gyms are closed. So it's like, well, now I can't. I can go on a run, but that's about it. So I had to switch a lot of things up, and then I realized that after about 3 weeks is when I got now I have a system, which is cool, but it took me
that's
a little
tight.
bit. Yeah.
Dude, I feel it's well, I've never worked in an office that was that tight. So like
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. Our office is
they're like
it's
hooking it
pretty
up for you.
dope.
Are they doing anything
Yeah.
now that it's all work from home? Are they giving you any perks? Like do they send you any goodie bags
Yeah,
or anything like that?
no, but what was cool is they said anything that we need to buy. So like if we needed extra monitors or something, like
That's tight.
we could put that on the corporate card. So that was
So you
dope.
got like 10
Um,
monitors now so you can play like
dude, I got 50 monitors. I got it. No, I'm kidding.
so you can make calls on one monitor and then
Yeah,
play video games on the other
play
monitor.
Fortnite, playing Fortnite while calling people. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, I watch YouTube videos while I make code calls. That's my thing.
Yeah, I know there's a couple. I've seen a couple people in the office. They're big into gaming, so they'll be on. I think it's called Twitch or something,
Oh yeah,
and then
Twitch.
watch people play video games. Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
They're like getting
Um,
all excited. They're like on a cold call. They're like, "Oh my gosh, look at
yeah,
that! Look at oh, how's it going?
yeah.
This is Mark from NetApp. How are we doing today?"
Has that ever happened to you where you're like mid conversation with someone and then they pick up and you're like, oh, sorry, sir.
I've definitely not been paying attention and someone picks up. That's for
Yeah,
sure
because
happened.
like yeah, sometimes, especially like if you call 30 people and they're all not picking up, you just get used to them not picking up.
Yeah, and you're just
So
hitting the dials because managers look at dials too. So you gotta be making your dials because then your manager sees you're making your dials. Sometimes you're
yeah.
not paying attention, and then someone picks up and y'all, oh, wait, who is this? Wait, what does your company do?
Hmm.
Like what? Like I was watching my video. Like why'd you pick up?
Yeah, for sure. What's cool, what I like working in the office, and this is one thing I miss about working in the office is one thing my company really values is culture. So we
That's
have
right.
like, yeah, so they're cool with like us. They really want all of us to get along and like be really close, which we are. And
That's tight.
one thing I really liked is, and it sounds like it wouldn't be cool, but I like that you hear everyone's conversation.
Yeah,
So, which sounds bad because it's kind of embarrassing if you have a bad call, but
yeah,
honestly, it helps all of us because if you have a bad call, we kind of all figure out why it went wrong. But if you have a good call, we all just got better too. So that was huge.
yeah. That always weirded me out. I was in a. I like it. I love it. I think it's great. But the first company I worked at, it was a culture where nobody made calls. So like
Ah,
if you made a call, like one, nobody made calls. So like nobody even knew how to call. But if you made a
right,
call, then everybody was going to give you feedback, but you couldn't give feedback to anyone else because no one was
right.
making calls. So it was like that weird thing where it was like, I won't make a call.
I remember in the beginning, the first week, so it's a regular office structure, and then we have in the back, we have these like private small conference rooms. So
Yeah.
if you have really bad call anxiety or public speaking anxiety, you could call like privately. So everyone did that in the
Yeah.
beginning. And then our managers were like, yo, if you call from your cube, it's going to help everyone.
That's tight.
So then we started calling from our cubes because it is in the beginning, like if you've never made cold calls before, it is kind of terrifying.
Oh, it's so terrifying.
Yeah,
It's
I
still
remember
terrifying. Even when you're doing it for a long time, it's still like, oh, frick.
still to this day,
You
I'm
got
to
to
the
get in a
point.
rhythm.
Yeah, I'm to the point now. I don't really get nervous calling anyone unless if I have to call like a vice president or a president or a CEO, that's the only time where I'm like, all right, like I'm
All right, here
24
we
and I'm about
go.
to call a CEO of, whoever. So that's always intimidating.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll get like people in my call queue that I should never put there. Like
Hmm.
like they told me no, or they're not interested, or like they like I know it's gonna go poorly. And so I
Hmm.
just sit there and I want to make this call. Skip.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
I'm out.
And at the same time, too, like it is intimidating to call a vice president, but at the same time, I don't think in over a year, I think I've only had like two vice presidents actually pick up the phone. They're so busy, they're not going
Yeah.
to pick up. It's like there's no way,
You just making the
because it's
call. You never know.
yeah, no,
Hopefully they
definitely. I
respond to an
mean,
email.
yeah, definitely call them and get the reps in, and maybe they'll answer. But I've noticed for me, it's like if you're calling a vice president and you're gonna get them on an introductory call, they're like, yo, do you realize what I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis? So
Oh, that's
it's
tight.
good though. Yeah, it's good
Um,
experience.
so what are your aspirations? Like, do you want to do like SDR management or account executive? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so right now I actually love the SDR role, but obviously I don't think it's something that I'm going to do, for the rest of my life. But
Yeah,
for now, I really do like it. I enjoy it. I work with really cool people. I love
that's
my
awesome.
managers. Yeah, everyone's cool, and our company also values training. So um, even though it's so for our company, it's actually not like calling and emailing all day. Like we'll have a team meeting in the
Oh, that's
morning,
cool.
and then yeah, like Mondays, every Monday at 1 o'clock, we have a team meeting from 1 to 2. So and then some other days during the week, we'll have training on something else, like a training on cloud or a training on a
That's
new
cool.
solution. Yeah, so I'm big on that, and we're always learning and stuff. So that's really cool. But I think maybe I don't know. I love speaking.
Yeah.
I love sales in general. So maybe doing like some type of like sales training, like
Oh,
as I move up, maybe that would be
that'd be tight.
cool. Yeah, I'm not thinking too much about it, but I know the next step would be like so. For us, where SDR role is the person who sets the meeting. So I guess
Yeah,
then when you get promoted, you're the person who takes the meeting. So that would
sure.
be the next step. And I'd be cool with doing that too. It's not bad. So,
Dude, well, NetApp sounds so awesome to work for. I didn't
oh,
know
I
that
love it. And
like
we actually had yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Keep going.
I didn't know that like NetApp was super hot still. Like I don't know too.
Oh,
I know somewhat about the company, but not like a ton.
it's awesome, man. So I was really fortunate. I was actually before I started working there, before my senior year of college that summer, I was an intern. So
Yeah,
I interned with them,
that's
learned a
sick.
lot. Yeah, made cool connections. And then next year I got hired. And what we have is we have this thing called the Academy. So it's the S3 Academy, so sales, services, and support.
That's
And
dope.
so from June 3rd to like August 23rd, it was straight like we were SDRs, but it was just training. Like,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, we were not on the floor at all. We were in a
Dang.
classroom
Oh
from
no.
8 to 5.
Is that boring? What was that like?
It, I mean, it had days where it was boring. It was like sales boot camp, pretty much.
So were you in it with all
It
like?
was
Was there
wild.
how many people were in your like class? Do you call them like classes?
Ours Ours was about 50 people, and
What?
they've had yeah, man. So it was almost like an extra 3 months of college, except say like just sales.
Wait,
so
how many SDRs are on your team or in the company globally?
so we had globally, I'm not sure, but I know in the academy it was like so there was 50 people. We had about I think 20, like 23 SDRs, and then we
Holy
had it
cow.
was a combination of SDRs, engineers, support,
Oh dang.
and yeah, and like I think that was it. But yeah, it was wild. Like literally started at 8, like it was a college class. Usually went till 5, and it was 12 weeks.
Holy
So
cow. And
we learned a lot.
do they weed people out through that process? Like
No, so
or is
yeah,
it
so
just like
that
all, you hired, you're getting paid at that point?
yeah, so we're getting paid. I mean, there was definitely people that were like, "Yo, this is." No one quit though, which was great. But you could tell there were
Yeah.
some people that were like, is this really for me? Like, I don't know if this is for me, but no, it was really cool. They taught us a lot about like sales and the sales cycle and how to pitch the company, how to pitch
Yeah.
solutions, and just little things like whiteboard presentations.
Oh,
We did a
sick.
lot of those, yeah, which was really interesting. And just how to speak, like public speaking. And then when we
That's good.
got through that, it was still nerve wracking to call, but I think it made it a lot
Yeah.
easier for sure. Yeah.
So how
So
many how many people are on your team? Like right
I'd say
now?
about, yeah, I'd say about 20, probably close to 30, around 30.
And
So it's pretty big.
that's just in where's your office
Our,
again?
so yeah, it's like Durham, North Carolina. We call it RTP,
Dang.
but yeah, it's like our office is in Durham,
So how
North
many
Carolina.
do you interact with SDRs globally too? How many SDRs do you think you have globally? Like
Yeah, so
hundreds?
dude, this is, yeah, so it's really cool. We had an academy, and then right when that ended, in September, we had a global academy.
Oh,
But
dang.
what's cool about the global academy is the training was in our office. So we met people from all over,
That's
and
right.
they worked in our office. And then, I mean, it's ended now, so they went back. But for 3 months, we were networking with literally people from Italy, for like just all over. It was so cool.
Dude, that's insane. That's a huge
Super,
team.
super
I've never
cool.
been on a team that big.
Oh, yeah. It's. I mean, we have an office in Boulder too and stuff, and our headquarters are in California, and we still like the Boulder dudes will jump on the call all the time too. They're really cool. So it's really cool. Yeah, and like they told us that from the beginning. Like our company values, they like really want us to be like tight because they just feel like if we're really close friends, which we are, it's just gonna make everything better.
And you won't go anywhere. You'll be there for life. NetApp for life.
Yeah, yeah, dude. NetApp for life, dude. The NetApp blanket's cozy, for sure.
So
NetApp blanket.
so when you don't hit quota at NetApp, what do they say? And they like, you'll do better next year. Like, what's
Um,
do they fire a lot of people?
that I actually don't. I'm not positive, but I do know like if you don't hit your number, it's definitely okay. How can we make this better?
Yeah.
Let's improve, and we have like we set goals for each quarter of like what we want to do and stuff. But yeah, I know some companies are hardcore. Like I've heard some sales companies, it's like, yo, if you don't hit this number, you're done.
Oh
So
yeah. Sure.
I would say we're definitely not that hardcore, but I couldn't imagine that. That's
Dude,
wild.
insane.
Yeah, that's
They're
I
just
mean,
running they're
I
just
get it
running through
though.
people.
Yeah, you're just running through people, and that's I couldn't imagine just because that's sales in general is a lot of pressure and like
Yeah.
mental toughness and a lot of mental. But yeah, to add on that's interesting for sure.
Yeah, I can't imagine working for a company where like you're just a number and you come in and you don't hit your number and then they just fire you.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like
Hmm.
off the bat, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I don't know that. Yeah, but no, I wouldn't say they like fire us if we don't hit our number. It's you definitely have to put in the effort though. Like if
Yeah.
there's if they look at because they can look at everything that we do. They can look
Yeah.
at any email I send, any call I make. So if I guess the way I could be wrong, but in my opinion, the way I look at it as if they look at you and they're like, oh, this dude's really trying or this woman's really trying hard, they appreciate that. So
Dang.
for sure.
What's your favorite part about being an SDR and your least favorite thing?
The least favorite. Let's start with that one for sure. I would say the least favorite is sometimes you get leads, and this isn't a bad thing. This just comes with the job. If you work in sales, you're going to deal with this. Sometimes you get a lead and from the beginning,
it's
like
it's not gonna go well.
this is not gonna go well, but it's like, all right, I have to go through with this. And it's, I guess, just like learning how to almost psych yourself out and to be like, no, like I'll be positive. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's like, I would say probably 20% of the time I get leads where I'm just like, all right, like,
Yeah.
let's do it. Let's do
No,
it.
I
But
feel you, dude. When I get leads like that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know how this is
yeah.
gonna go.
Yeah. Or like, I remember I got a lead once and it was like, he went to one of our events, but he went to one of our events like 5 months ago. And I had to call him and be like, hey, man, you went to one of our tech talks 5 months ago, just following up. And he was like, are you serious? So I think that's where you get a personality too as a sales
Yeah.
guy, because it's like at that point, I think you should just laugh with them at this point.
So
You know,
what'd you
because
do? What'd you do on the call?
I'm like, yeah, man, I'm just, you just got to roll with it. Like, have you heard of us before? Just following up. So sometimes they laugh. So, and sometimes they mess with you. I called a guy once who literally said, do you have any free stuff? And I said, what? And he goes, do you have any free stuff? And I said,
Like free
we have.
software.
No, like literally, could we buy one of your systems that are like expensive for free? And I was just like, no, we have free trials. Do you want a free trial? It's like, no, I want free. Like you could tell he was
I
just
want free
messing with
stuff.
me.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So yeah, some people mess with you for sure. I was telling my team this yesterday. I laughed out loud. I got a lead, and a guy obviously put down his phone number, and I called the number, and this guy found a phone number. Literally, all this number does is give you the weather report. That's it.
And he filled
So
out. He was probably one of your competitors.
I have no idea. But so think about this. Like I called this guy, and as it's dialing, my brain's going, okay, sales pitch, data fabric to pitch a solutions cloud. And all you hear is like sunny with a high of 72 and like the whole weather. And that
Oh, that sucks.
was the one time as an SDR where I got rejected, but I was like, I can't get mad at this guy.
No.
That is hilarious. It's unique. It's creative. Fine. I'll give you that.
Could you find like, was the real person like on LinkedIn? Did you ever look?
I think he was. Yeah. So I still sent him an email, but at that point, the way I do it is it's like, if he put down that number, I'm just like, he obviously doesn't want me to talk to him.
Yeah,
you know?
you're just like marking it disqualified or something.
Yeah, because it's just like, yeah. So I just put the pieces together. But yeah, some people are funny and some people are mean, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Gosh,
Mm-hmm.
bad leads. I hate bad leads.
Bad leads. All right, so that was my least favorite thing. My favorite thing, I would say, my favorite thing about the office, I would say, is probably I've spoken about this a lot, but I would say the culture. Like we're just So what the NetApp does is they hire pretty much everyone is the same age. So we're all about like 21, 22, 23, 24. There are a couple people that are a little bit older, but for the most part, we're all the same age. We all, college graduates, and we hang out a lot. So that's awesome. It's basically like going to work and you're just catching up with your friends. It's really cool.
Is there a bunch of girls on your team, or is it mostly dudes?
I would say it's probably about 50-50.
Oh, that's cool. Do the girls crush
for sure
on your team?
Girls crush, dude. Girls crush. They do.
What's it like being beat by a girl?
Oh man, honestly, I give them credit though. So they all right, I'll just say that I think it's interesting. But so all the girls are like, yo, you got to put like, so when they send an email, they have their picture at the bottom of the email. So like they send these emails and obviously they're pretty girls. So it's like they're just getting meetings all day.
So you think that's why they get meetings?
Not only all right, I would say that's 10% of how they get meetings. They definitely have the skill and they're awesome and they crush it. But I would say I think it helps a little bit.
I can't wait till I have a girl from your team on my podcast that's beating you. It's like, dude, Chris is full of crap.
All of them are. All of them are. No, they're great though. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like sales, you find a lot of like tips and tricks to like get meetings, because obviously you have to sell and you have to know what you're talking about, but also I don't know, there's just like little things. Sometimes when I send people emails, I just put in the subject, literally all I put is just missed call. And dude, hold on, hear me out though. That sounds crazy, right?
Do you actually call them?
No, yeah, you call them and if they don't answer.
So you're actually okay.
And then you send them an email and just make the subject like missed call. Watch how many people open that email. And dude, think about it. You get an email that says missed call, you're opening that email.
And then what do they say? Like, did you get meetings off
Yeah,
those
so
emails?
no, it's not like a guaranteed meeting, but I would rather, I would rather send an email where they're at least going to read it than like sometimes I send emails and I'm like, hey, just following up about your, but then they don't even open it. But
Yeah,
if you send an email that says missed
missed
call,
call.
they're gonna be like, who are you? And how did you get my number? So yeah, man.
Oh, you know what one I hate, speaking of that, is when people answer the phone and they go, "Yo, how'd you get my number? How'd
Yeah,
you
and I'm
find me?"
like, and then you can't say
Uh
this, but you're like, hey man, you wrote it down.
or
Like, what did
like
you think?
or like, well, there's this system that you can buy called Zoom Info, which will give me your information if I type in a couple words, and that's how I got your
Yeah.
information.
The best, I love when sometimes people go on our website and they literally it says they filled out a form, like a trial request
Yeah,
form. And then they'll be like, how did you get my information? I'm like, sir, you filled out a
you fill
trial request
you
form
filled out the form.
and you put and then this happens too. They'll go, why are you calling my cell phone? And I'm like, because you put down your cell phone. And
Yeah.
they're like, I don't take sales calls from my cell phone. I only take sales calls from my office phone. And I'm like, but you didn't put down your office phone. You
Yeah,
put
so
down your
like what were
cell
they
phone.
thinking when they filled out the form?
Yeah, and like I get it. I mean, that's the one thing I actually do. I do feel bad. Like if I call your cell phone, I get it. But at the
Yeah,
same time, like
you put it
if
there.
I'm calling you thinking that it's your office phone, then that's on you.
And is it like a demo request or is it like a trial request? So they're like, are they asking for
Yes.
a follow-up?
Yeah, so we have some like solutions for like cloud infrastructure where if they want like a 30-day free trial,
Yeah.
they can request it and we can see like if it works out. But so they fill out a form and stuff. So then we call them. Yeah.
And then you
So
call them, and then they
and then we
say, "Why are
call
you
them.
calling me? And why are you calling me on my
Yeah.
cell?"
Yeah. But then other times it's cool. Sometimes I get a trial request form and I'll call people and I'm like, hey man, you filled this out. And they're like, oh, thanks. Like I was waiting for you to like reach out to me. So then
Yeah,
it
they
works
were
out.
like they blocked out like half their day for you to call them.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
weren't doing
That's
anything.
honestly, I'll re-answer your question. The best part about working in sales is the one time a year where like you'll get a lead and you'll check the notes and the notes will be like, I am interested in this solution and this. And then you call them and they answer and then you bring it up to them and they're like, yes, that's what I want. And you book the meeting and it drives, it's like that happens literally twice a year. But when that happens, it's just like, the greatest feeling and it's so
Oh
easy.
man.
Oh man, it's so good.
Or like when you call someone and they're actually interested, they're like actually looking for your
Right.
service or looking for a similar service, and you're like, "What?
Yeah,
You
it
said
just
what?"
makes your job so much easier. Especially like if you like you wake up in the morning and that's the first thing you see, like that lead, you're just like,
Today's
yes.
gonna be a good day. Time to play some ping pong, baby.
Yes. And then sometimes you set a meeting that you think is gonna be really good and then they don't show up. Oh man.
uh,
They get some like no shows
dude,
that and it's like
the no call no show irks me, dude.
and they don't even give you a heads up.
No, it's on their
Yeah.
calendar. It's like
Yeah,
on your
it's
calendar.
on their and the worst is when they accepted it. It's
Yeah,
not like you threw it on their calendar, like they saw it, accepted it, and
yeah.
then they didn't show up. Yeah, man.
I don't know if it's just I think people they don't want to be on the meeting, obviously, or
Yeah.
they're just so busy that they. But at least tell me. At least be like, "Yo, I'm not interested." Like,
You know what I don't
I
get?
don't care.
Yeah, I will never understand the people that agree to a meeting just to get you off the phone.
Oh, that's rough.
Do you ever get that?
Yeah, all the time.
Which is like
Well, I think I get
now
it,
I'm
but
going to call you back. It's like I have to at this point. You
yeah,
agreed to a meeting just to get me off the phone, but it's like you agreed to a meeting.
yeah. People should just like be so. They should just be more upfront. Like, if they're not interested, just answer the email and say like, you know, I'm gonna keep calling and emailing you, and probably until you answer.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
if you just say that like you don't want me to call you and email you anymore, that's then you're only gonna get like 2 follow-ups instead of like 10.
What's like the maddest someone has ever gotten at you over the phone?
You know what? I had one really bad one over LinkedIn
Oh,
where
really?
the lady was furious. Like how could you reach out to me like this? You called me 3 times or something and emailed me, and like obviously I don't want to talk to you. And like just furious, like, do not call or email me or message me again. I'm all, dude, all you had to do was answer. All you had
Yeah.
to do was say, don't answer. If I knew that, I wouldn't have called again.
That's so interesting too. Yeah, if I call you and you don't answer, I'll call you back. But if you just answer and say no, then it's like we're done here.
Yeah, it's over. Well, maybe, unless I
You'll
send
ma
you a follow,
Yeah,
unless I try to object.
yeah, that's true. Depending on
But
how aggressive you are.
but it's at least gonna be less.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
What's the
for
worst you've
sure.
gotten?
Dude, I had a guy once. This was so weird. He like threatened to call the police on me. And I don't
Ugh.
know how this happened, but he just didn't he didn't believe like anything that I was saying. So I called him and basically said, I was like, yeah, I know I'm reaching out from NetApp, basically calling to see like it's IT. So like if I could ask you a couple questions about your infrastructure, like what are you guys doing? Maybe we could help
Yeah.
out. And he thought it was just really sketchy. So he straight up was like, I gotta be honest with you, man. I don't believe you are who you are, and I don't believe you're calling from this company. And I said, okay, do you want me to like email you and I'll CC my boss so you know I work for this company? And he
Yeah.
goes, no, I don't believe you at all. And I go, okay, what would you like me to do now? And he goes, honestly, nothing. And if you call here again, I'm going to call the police. And at that point, I was just like,
Dude.
okay. Like I just laughed and I was like, you have a great day. And he hung
Yeah.
up. And then I told my whole team that I got threatened by the guy was going to call the cops.
Yeah. Dude, so this is kind of off topic, but are you on LinkedIn at all? You're on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Do you ever see the like big time sales guys, or they think they're big time, and they post like emails that they've gotten from sales reps and they just thrash them?
Yeah.
Dude, that irks
Yeah.
me.
A couple of them.
That freaking irks me, dude.
Yeah.
How
Hmm.
high and mighty do you have to be to
Right.
to literally post someone's email that you got and then rip it to
Right.
shreds?
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Yeah, I don't get that
That
either.
pisses me off.
LinkedIn's tricky. I'm trying to get better at LinkedIn. I don't post too much on LinkedIn, but I do admire some people really know how to work LinkedIn and they're crushing it.
Yeah, they are. And then but there's LinkedIn bullies, dude. I'm
There
believing it.
are.
There's
There
LinkedIn
are.
bullies.
Yeah.
People want you to like, only like be into their content or what they preach or this
Hmm.
or that. I'm like, settle down, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. LinkedIn's such an interesting website, I think, because it's helpful in a lot of ways, but it's so different from every other platform.
Yeah.
It's like it's really its own niche market, and it's just so interesting to me.
Yeah, and it's like now with all like the social injustice stuff. Like I've seen people post like, if you don't post anything, you're like a racist.
Yeah,
Like if you don't,
yeah,
and it's all over. That's on like Instagram and whatever, but I'm like, "Oh, it got onto LinkedIn." Like, you know.
yeah. And I've even been seeing a lot of posts that are like, "Why isn't this all over LinkedIn?" And I'm like, "All right, that's cool."
All right.
Like, yeah, it's interesting.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, so for sure, man.
But like if you don't have anything to say, like do you have to say something?
That's the thing. Well, I was reading a lot of people were like, this is the first time where people are just like, I genuinely don't like in terms of posting on
Yeah.
social media. People are like, because it's crazy, If you say
Yeah.
if you word something like with one word that's off, it's like,
And my
it's
buddy
so
said it good
interesting.
the other day. He was like, if you don't post anything, people are gonna hate you, and if you do post stuff, people are gonna hate you. It's like
And
there's no
honestly,
matter what you no matter what you're in the crap hole.
you nailed it with that one. That's the best way to put it. You nailed it.
And like for me, I just don't like being told what to do.
Yeah. Well, and you know what's another thing too? Some people just aren't on social media that much.
Yeah.
So, so some people are like, and I get it too. I understand where people are coming from, where they're like, you have to draw awareness. I get that. But also, there's some people who literally probably only use social media for like an hour a week. So
Yeah.
with those types of people, it's like, it's hard.
Yeah, it's a weird time right now. It's like it sucks.
Yeah.
It's super strange. Like no matter what you do, you're gonna get like shamed for it.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
The whole like
Definitely.
public shaming thing.
Well, it's yeah, in terms of like posting and online and stuff, yeah, it's really, really interesting to see.
And it
It's
kind of
like
started, yeah, sorry, go.
no, no, you're good. I was just gonna say we're basically we're trying to like navigate these waters that like everything's so new to us, and
Yeah.
we're also trying to like master it at the same time, which is so much pressure.
Yeah.
It's this stuff is really new.
And I feel like a lot of it started with COVID, where
Hmm.
like on social, people started to do a lot of public shaming on people.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, if you go out and you do something, like you're gonna get shamed. If you do this, you're gonna get shamed. And I feel like that like public shaming just kind of like transferred over to the um to the racial stuff that's going on now.
And then on
And
top of that,
I'm
I
like Black Lives
yeah,
Matter is great. Like
yeah, for sure.
I'm for justice. Like I'm for like racial equality.
Hmm.
But like I just think like when you're like when people are trying to like make you post something, like, and
Yeah.
just getting angry at people for not posting, and like if you do post, then then you get I'm just like, it's weird, dude.
Yeah, man. And then there's someone out of nowhere that's like, by the way, here's my graduation photo. And you're like, oh, okay, nice. Thanks, man. What year did you graduate? And he's like, 87, baby. And we're like, this is crazy. It's like two extremes of like,
Yeah.
let's save the world. And then someone else is like, but here's my dog. And we're like, whoa, like it's just so much coming at you at once.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really on Instagram, to be honest. Like Instagram kind of pisses me off. It's just
Oh, really?
to me it's just fake. Like
See, so that's how that's interesting that you said that because I get that, and I really like Instagram, but my thing is I don't like Twitter at all.
Twitter's you got to be
Yeah,
famous to Twitter, it seems like.
yeah. I used Twitter a lot in high school, and then
Yeah.
after high school, it was just I, I was like done with this. This is wild.
I don't know
Just like a
anyone that
bunch of people
tweets.
running around with their heads off. Yeah, that's what it seems like to me.
You know what? You know one that gets me is the ones where people like take videos of themselves like walking down the street and then post
Yeah.
it, like
Hmm.
content. That one I think is pretty
That's
funny.
wild. You know what I've been doing a lot since COVID started? I have been going on Reddit a lot.
Oh,
You ever
Reddit.
go on Reddit?
I love Reddit. A lot of
Because
good stuff in there.
yeah, you know what I love about Reddit? I always have known about it, but I forgot about it. And what I
Yeah.
love about Reddit is literally just like, hey man, we surf to the internet for you, and here's all of the highlights.
Yeah.
So you're
It's
just
so
like,
true.
dude, and you can just catch up on everything in literally 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, you don't have Twitter? No problem. We do. And here's everything we should show you. It's just like, we are on Instagram too. Look at all
Yeah.
the, and it's just like, all right, cool, 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 cool. And then
And
it's
you could
done.
like anything is on Reddit, I feel like the real
Anything.
like do
Yeah.
you want to learn how to like van life is big on like Reddit, or like
Yeah.
anything. But my least favorite is probably Facebook. But I will say,
Yeah.
so my least favorite's Facebook, but we have like a buy sell group. I live in a small town, and dude, there are some absolute juicy conversations on
Oh,
this
there's some
on this
juicy
buy sell
conversation.
group. It just, there
That's
was one the
great.
other day that there was like 100 comments long of these people just going back and forth at it, and I was just like, like
Uh-huh.
the what is it? Is it Michael Jackson eating popcorn
That
emoji?
one's great.
That gif or
Hmm.
something? I was like, dude, this is so
Yeah.
good.
I think, honestly, believe it or not, maybe I'm wrong. I feel like Facebook is kind of making a comeback though.
But isn't it like, is it me, or does it feels like old people?
Yeah, so it
Like
is,
my
but
my my parents and like my grandparents.
yeah. So what happened to me is I started using it a bunch because do stand-up comedy. And
Oh yeah.
so I live in like the Raleigh area. So what we do is we have like our own group of like, we call it triangle comedy because it's Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill's just a big triangle. So it's
That's funny.
triangle comedy. So I start using Facebook all the time because it's like, all right, if you want to, do this open mic, it's over here on this day. And then, so I started checking the group a lot, and then you start networking with other comedians. And now it's like, there's this huge presence of comedians on Facebook. So now I
That's
just
tight.
started using Facebook. Yeah. So
That's
thought that was
that's
pretty
pretty cool
cool.
though. So talk to me about your stand up.
Yeah,
Like
man. So it's so fun. I started doing it in college, my senior year of college,
yeah.
and believe it or not, I actually helped a lot with sales because
Oh, I imagine.
So as you know, sales is just dealing with rejection,
Yeah.
and I always tell people stand-up comedy is the highest form of rejection that you can get, like
I
by
can't
far,
imagine.
because yeah, it's one thing if someone hangs up on you and cusses you out, but it's like if you're on stage in front of 100 people and you're basically going, hey guys, I think this is funny, and then the whole audience as a group is like, we think this isn't funny, and then you still have to be on stage like, nah, it is, just wait, and they're like, it's not. So and then you got
Yeah.
to deal with that. But yeah, so it's
What
in terms of thick skin.
what's your bit about?
I have a lot of stuff about I have like about 5 minutes about just college and like what college is about and things like that. I have
That's
some
tight.
anxiety, so I have some jokes about anxiety. Yeah, that's cool. The worst is I remember when I started working in the office, people are like, "We heard you do stand up. Can you tell me a joke?" And I'm like, "Nope." So it's like we're in an office. I'm not doing that right now. But no, yeah, it's cool. It's cool to like talk about your life and stuff and write jokes about it. So
Dude, that's
that's
sick.
always
That
cool.
must be terrifying. What was it like the first time you went up
Oh,
on
dude,
stage?
like the first 20 times, I literally felt like I was going to throw up. I
Oh
mean,
my
you're
gosh.
so, and also your body, it's weird. You're nervous, but your body is also pumping out like massive dumps of adrenaline.
Yeah,
So you're nervous, but you're also so amped up. It's such a
frick.
weird feeling. And then you go
That's
on
gnarly.
stage. I remember the first couple times I went on stage, I didn't, still to this day, because you're so nervous. Like I remember walking on stage and walking off stage. I don't remember saying anything. Like you just blank out.
That's
And
so
and
gnarly.
then yeah, and then asked my friends because they were there. I was like, "Was I good?" They were like, "No, you were like talking and stuff, blah blah blah, but you yeah, just blanked out. You're so nervous." But then the more you do it, you get better. So
Yeah, how many shows have you done?
so I've been doing it for a little bit over a year, and up until COVID, I never took a week off. So
No way.
yeah, so I was
Same clubs or what?
um all over North Carolina. So
So sick.
yeah, just all over the state. Yeah, it's so fun. And then that's when it gets fun when you have jokes that work, and
Yeah.
then you can kind of travel around to different places and do those jokes. That's where it gets really fun. Um,
Dang.
but yeah, man, and
Do you have
it's
your
cool too.
do you have your bit memorized or is it kind of off the cuff?
Yeah, so if I'm it depends. So if I'm doing a show where like there's going to be a lot of people, then
Yeah.
I'm just doing what I know, and it's memorized. It's like to a T
Dang.
done. But if I'm doing an open mic and I'm trying something new, yeah, I'll kind of like spitball some stuff, which is cool.
What's the most amount of people you've ever done it in front of at a show?
I would say there's a club in Wilmington that holds about 110. So, and
Dang.
I've done that like sold out. So I did that, but then there's also a club in Raleigh that holds like 300, but I never have done that sold out. So
That's gnarly.
I would say the most maybe like 120, 130,
Dude, that's crazy. And
which is wild.
do you get paid to do this or
I've
right now
I've
you're
been
just
paid
doing it for free?
I've been paid a little bit, not too much. I've done some shows where I get like $50, which is cool.
Yeah.
But and like I'm not, by no means I'm not like a headliner or anything. I'm usually the guy who, if there's an open mic, I'll host it, and if you host, you get paid for that. Or and if for the weekend shows, like I've opened for like a headliner, which is cool.
Dude,
So
that's
yeah,
gnarly though.
so the host will go up. and then I'll go up and I'll do like 10 minutes, and then someone else better than me will do like 20, and then the headliner will go on. But yeah,
Yeah.
those are the fun ones. Those are really
Dang.
fun.
That's so sick. Do you think
Yes.
do you think it'll go anywhere?
Right now it's just a hobby and I love it. And
Yeah.
who knows when. And I haven't been on stage in 2 months because of COVID, so who knows when I'll be back. But
Yeah.
it's so fun, man. I love doing it. I'm always gonna do it for sure. It's and it helps. It's like it changed my life because you're performing public speaking. It helps you
Yeah.
so much in terms of sales and at work. If I have to give a presentation,
Oh, I
like
can't imagine.
just yeah, it helps so much.
Dude, that's sick.
So yeah,
Um,
man.
so like what advice would you give to anybody who's coming in to be an SDR?
Oh, that's really good. I would say, honestly, just learning how to do, well, two things: learning how to deal with rejection
Yep.
and making real connections. Not like, don't go up to your team and just be like, hey, I'm Chris, nice to meet you. Like
Yeah.
really like try to get to know people,
That's
because what
tight.
I've learned is, obviously I didn't crush my number, but what I have noticed is every single person on my team who did extremely well, they all have really good connections with a lot of people on the team.
That's sick.
Yeah,
That's
so
good to
like
know.
their reps, the either whether it's a woman or a man, like they're so tight with their reps, they're so tight with their managers, like they have great connections, and I've noticed that among everyone who's crushed it.
That's good advice, dude.
Yeah, man.
How can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram, just at Chris Rivoli, Rivoli. Same thing for LinkedIn. I have this. What's cool about me, I have the same photo for everything. So once you find the first photo,
Easy.
yeah, just it all comes up. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on this show. Whether you aired or not, man, I really appreciate it. And
It was so
no,
fun.
honestly, dude, I had a great time, man. This is awesome.
Dude, it was great meeting you. Thanks for coming on.